Creative freelancers and solopreneurs, welcome to Coaching for Creatives. Today's conversation is all about confidence and self-esteem and imposter syndrome and what we can do to see ourselves as who we truly are and as being successful and creating possibilities of success for ourselves. Really, we just want to feel more confident in our business and in our day-to-day. How can we do that? Thank you for joining me. This is Coaching for Creatives. I'm Aura McKay. I'm your host, and I'm the founder of Business of Creativity, where we offer online training and group mastermind environments to support you in mastering the business of being a creative. For most of us who are creative freelancers or solopreneurs, often we feel the least amount of confidence when it comes to our business aspect. Generally speaking, we are pretty confident with our craft or our skills in our services. We generally feel like we can do a pretty good job once we get the job. Where most of us have challenges in terms of feeling confident and not as an imposter is generally in our business, in feeling confident in our marketing, in our sales, in our pricing, in our conversations, in how we handle conflict with our clients when things aren't working, how we deal with feedback that is presented as a critique or might have a negative tinge to it. That's a lot of the times where many of us struggle. Let me know that you're here and that this topic was something that resonated with you. Where the inspiration came from today is a little bit in my own life where I'm looking at where does my unhappiness come from? What are the circumstances under which I feel less than capable or not as confident in my business? It also is coming from the Business Accelerator Mastermind meeting this morning, where the group was encouraged to share some wins and to connect those wins to what really mattered and why they considered them a win. The very interesting things that happen when freelancers are asked to share their challenges versus when we're asked or invited to share our wins. I'd be curious to know, for many of you, how do you feel? Do you feel like you're way better at identifying what sucks, what's not working, what's still left on your to-do list, where you could be improving, where you're not quite measuring up, where you're maybe not meeting your own standards? Because this is really, for me, where I'm noticing that unhappiness or lack of fulfillment or imposter syndrome or self-doubt or low self-esteem starts to creep in, is for me when I have set almost impossible standards, if you will, where my commitment to excellence, my impeccability with my word, my total alignment with integrity in doing my best, in striving to be the best, where those values and those characteristics and ways of being have actually set up impossible standards for me to achieve. What happens for me when I've created those impossible aspirations, well, not even aspirations, but just like requirements for success, is that I've created a gap between where I am and where I want to be. I perceive all of this lack of, well, I'm not there yet. Well, I haven't done that. Well, it's not quite perfect. There's a cost to that as well, in that when I hold those super impossible standards, there are things that I won't even start doing, or I won't even attempt, because I don't believe that I can get a 10 out of 10, or I don't believe that I can reach the standards that I want. I'm going to reframe that. In the past, up until now, those were my beliefs. What I heard this morning in the Business Accelerator Mastermind meeting was that a lot of the BAM fam has similar feelings, where They have set goals for themselves. They have set outcomes for themselves. And when they don't meet them at 100%, they start to beat up on themselves. They start to create this negative loop feedback of, yeah, but I did it. Yeah, but I did it. And it's extraordinary how we can have 10 things on our list that we want to do or accomplish. If we get 9 of them done, we don't celebrate. We don't claim it as a win. We tend to think, yeah, but I didn't get these things done. Yeah, but there's still that one thing done. Yeah, but I didn't get it all finished. This, I think, is creating a habit, a feedback, the momentum of negativity. It's creating, seeing ourselves as never quite measuring up. You can imagine that if we do this to ourselves on a day-to-day basis, or even when we're working on a project, or we're not quite posting as frequently to social media, or maybe we're not getting back to people on the email as fast as we'd like to, or maybe there's a conflict, or we got negative feedback, and we can start to internalize this and take this on as who we actually are, that we are now this person that is less than. It erodes our confidence, it erodes our self-esteem, and it erodes our ability to really challenge ourselves, to step into things that we're not 100% sure how they're going to work out, because we have this story about ourselves. We have this experience of ourselves as not quite measuring up. I know for many of you, you are familiar with what imposter syndrome feels like and how that can be so limiting and so restricting. Look in your life and try to see, are you maybe creating imposter syndrome by holding standards that are impossible standards? Are you maybe setting yourself up for feeling less than by creating something that's so far beyond where you are as a goal that it isn't even doable? Or you're creating possible time deadlines for you in the sense that there's no possible way you could complete it in 3 days, and yet you're like determined and I'm going to do it in 3 days. Maybe, just try it on, maybe you are a little bit responsible for creating your own experience of less than, of imposter syndrome. What can we do about that? What can we do to change that, to start shifting this experience that we're having of a lack of confidence or self-esteem? One of the things that I do all the time, and if you've hung out in my Facebook group, or you've been in any of my workshops or training, or you've been coached by me, you know that I focus on evidence of awesome. Hashtag evidence of awesome, where I invite people to look for the evidence of awesome, to actively look for what can you claim as a win? What can you claim as a success or progress? We are so skilled at looking for what still needs to be done, at what's missing, what's lacking, what's not quite done there. Like our look for the terrible or look for the awful, those muscles are huge and powerful muscles. However, we haven't really practiced our evidence of awesome muscles. They're not as strong. This is your invitation. One of the things that you can do to practice this and to start seeing more wins and more awesome in your life is to connect your wins or your progress to why it matters, or to really articulate what is the ripple effect of this particular win. When we have a failure or something that's not working or a lack, we're really good at extrapolating out all of the things that this is going to mean. Because I didn't do this, then this is going to happen, and this is going to happen, and this is going to happen. We have this sort of catastrophizing, spinning out of control of awfulness that can happen. What if we practice looking to create the opposite, a spinning up of possibility, a spinning up of excitement, a way of really enforcing and validating and reconnecting to how capable you actually are? Because think about it, when have you felt most confident in your creative business? Post some examples in the comments if you've got some. But for many of us, when we felt most confident is like when we just closed a really great client and we got a huge sale, or we delivered something and our clients are absolutely over the moon and they love it. We get all of this external yay feedback. It's so fleeting. Very few of us actually celebrate that and give ourselves the opportunity to look at, well, what is the ripple effect of that? We're going to create together today an experience for you, getting back connected to claiming a win and then creating the ripple that can come from that. Here's how it works. A win might be something like, I posted consistently on social media 3 days this week. That could be a huge win for somebody. For some other people, it might be no thing. And this is where the meaning that we place on things starts to have an impact, have an effect on us and our successes. When we can claim why we are declaring a win, we get reconnected back to what matters. We get reconnected to what inspires us. We get reconnected to who we are when we are being confident, when we have self-esteem, when we feel capable. How do we make that reconnection? For instance, you might say something like, I posted 3 times this week on social media, and this is a win because I've been wanting to post 3 times a week for years and have never managed to actually do 3 times a week consistently. This is a win because I'm keeping my word to myself. This is a win because I am following through on something that's been a long time should on myself. This is a win because I'm serving my clients better by being in communication. This is a win because it's part of my marketing strategy and I'm actually executing on my bigger picture plan. This is a win because this is one of the stepping stones or milestones on my way to my bigger dreams and my bigger goals. This is a win because it resulted in increased engagement, which means that people are actually reaching out to me and I'm getting some validation and some reassurance that the things that I'm doing are connecting. This is a win because I grew my audience and I have 2 new followers. So you can start to see, when you really look for where's the win, where's the evidence of awesome, you can start to see how you could build this ripple of where's the win. This is a win because. I really invite you and encourage you to play This Is a Win Because with as many people as you can. We in Canada, at least, are taught that it's impolite to brag. Being able to connect with another human being and say, would you like to play this game with me? Can we play This Is a Win Because? Someone to practice with. Here's the deal, folks. If you just do it in your head, it's a start. If you can do it writing it out on paper, you're going to get even more value. The greatest value in terms of reconnecting to confidence, overcoming self-doubt, and removing imposter syndrome, that you're going to get by practicing saying it out loud to another person. If you don't have someone like that in your life, you are always welcome to join us at the Business Accelerator Mastermind Group. We are a group of creative freelancers and entrepreneurs from across Canada who gather together weekly to be able to support each other, to be a listening for each other, to declare our wins, and to offer each other resources and camaraderie when we are in our struggles and our challenges. Please do join us there, or find yourself a partner, a networking support partner for whom you can trade playing the This Is a Win Because game. Any of you that are curious to see, can I play This Is a Win with your win? Post your wins in the comments. Post them down below. I'm happy to go on a riff of This Is a Win. It's one of my superpowers, is being able to see the evidence of awesome in other people's actions. Thank you for joining me here live. Thank you for watching this on my YouTube channel. Please do subscribe and comment if you are watching this on YouTube. It makes a huge difference. I appreciate you all. I will see you here next week on Coaching for Creatives.